Aren't they wonderful, darling?
How many are there?
8 episodes.
Counted them myself.
8 episodes.
Well, last year I had...
18 episodes.
Yes, well, some of them are quite a bit bigger than last year.
I don't care how big they are!
Love, Death, and Robots is an incredible show. It is one of the most creative ideas I've ever seen for a series, and it is one of the best things Netflix has put out in years. I really love the concept of an anthology for a TV show, especially when you have different teams of writers and animators to make these shorts. And last year, well, 2 years ago, I enjoyed the first season of Love, Death, and Robots. I thought it was great. It had a lot of great episodes, some really terrible ones, but also some that blew my mind in all the best ways. It's a really mixed bag, and season 2 continues that. Although it is way shorter, it is 8 episodes this time instead of 18, so there's less, but also some of them are actually incredible, and I loved like the new ones, some of the concepts. And that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to go over each one, review them, and talk about what I thought about the season overall, and about Love, Death, and Robots and Netflix's new plan for the future, for future seasons, because I thought the less episodes per season was an odd choice, but overall, I think it's going to benefit the series in the long term. So I'll talk about that in the conclusion. But without further ado, let's go with each short, and starting with the first one, Automated Customer Service. So Automated Customer Service was a pretty fun way to start the season. It is a short about a woman who buys like a vacuum kind of robot that cleans the house, makes the dishes. It's kind of like a servant robot, and then it goes haywire and it tries to kill her. So overall, it was a pretty fun way to start the season. It was like really creative, and it uses like the Love, Death, and Robots signature kind of like violence and vulgarity, but it uses it in such a fun way that I enjoyed, and I thought it was welcome. So yeah, I liked this one. It was okay. So yeah, overall I thought the short was pretty fun, but it didn't like blow my mind in some kind of crazy way, and it also like the animation was pretty iffy. Like the animation of the people looks weird. I like weird, but it like at times it just felt off. So I don't know. I think I gotta give it a 62 out of 100. But yeah, let's go on to the next one. The second short in the season is called Ice, and it has the same animation as Sima Blue, which is one of my favorite Love, Death, and Robots shorts from the first season. But this one kind of disappointed me. I mean, it left a lot to think about. It left a lot to kind of like hope for in the beginning. It set up a pretty interesting premise of a world where people go to live, and most of the population is like heavily modified, and people who are modified are discriminated against. But this is the problem with the short. I thought it left too much to hope for. And in the end, you were kind of like hoping the short would like introduce some philosophical thing or kind of like a social commentary. And even though it had some pretty visuals, like most of it was just like people running away from a whale and just showing off cool visuals, but not really anything that left me thinking about. And I think that's one of the best parts of Love, Death, and Robots. So don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the visuals and the short and what it tried to say, but I didn't think it was much. But yeah, I don't know, I'm probably gonna give it a 55 for Ice. It was okay, but just not as great as some of the others. Pop Squad was incredible. This is not only my favorite short of the season, but it's probably my new favorite Love, Death, and Robots short of the first and second seasons. Pop Squad is it is just everything that I love in Love, Death, and Robots in one short. This one introduces a very interesting society where like the rich people live in castles in the sky, and they're basically immortal. So they use transhumanism to kind of like better themselves, make themselves immortal through rejuvenation kind of things. And also fertility is heavily kind of like controlled by the people in power. So the protagonist of this short has a really, really disgusting job, which is basically killing children. And overall, I thought it left a lot to think about, like why did this world came to be? This is what I like about Love, Death, and Robots, that it introduces these new worlds that leave you thinking about stuff and thinking about what else is going on in this mini universe the animators created. So overall, I thought the short was great, and the ending was also awesome. Like it's just like it made the like the central character kind of question his motives, his allegiance to the people in power, or actually do what is actually morally correct. So it left me a lot to think about. It's a pretty philosophical short, and that's why I loved it so much. So yeah, Pop Squad gets a 75, and yeah, it was great. So let's move on to the next one. Snow in the Desert is another one of my favorites. I thought that this one was really interesting too. Like, it reminded me a lot of Star Wars in a way, kind of like with the universe that this short is trying to create. So it was really interesting. Like, the main character is kind of a man that has like really regenerative DNA. So people are like looking for him for his ability to be immortal and regrow body parts and stuff. And it's just a super interesting world. And also the animation is fantastic. That's something I want to praise in each one of these like photorealistic episodes, that the animation really pushes the limits in all the best ways. So yeah, this one was fun. It had a lot of interesting moments that made you think, especially with the ending and the woman who comes to the guy and like they start talking and she starts telling him that she wants him to come with her to a different kind of planet where they can like discover his abilities and use them for science. So that actually leaves a lot to think about, and it makes me like really wish they made full-length movies out of some of these shorts, because they really make me think a lot, and I really loved Snow in the Desert. So yeah, I think I'm gonna give it a 70 out of 100. It was good, and yeah, it's one of the best of the new season. So the fifth short is called Tall Grass, and it's kind of similar to Ice in the way that it doesn't really introduce like a deep philosophical idea, but it's mostly just there to like introduce some visual stuff to kind of show off the talent of the animators, and I really enjoyed it. I thought the animation was so fantastic. It reminded me of like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, kind of the same style, like kind of like cell shaded, and it was super fun. And it was actually really heavy on the horror side too. The story is about a man who's riding on a train and suddenly it stops, so he starts exploring a little bit. He goes into a tall grass where he sees some lights, and that's where the horror begins. Like, these monsters come out of everywhere and he has to run away, and I thought it was fun. I thought it was like a really interesting premise, but the same like Ice, it was just there to show visuals. Like, it didn't really make me think much about like the why of these creatures. It was just like kind of like seeing just a fun short. So yeah, it didn't leave me much to think about, but I still enjoyed it. I think it's a good way to show some of the animation and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 60. I think that suits it pretty well. Yeah. So after Tall Grass, we have All Through the House, which is a Christmas special. Yay, I love Christmas stuff. So yeah, this short is hilarious. I was laughing all throughout the ending. It's just so funny the way they showed like this creature in the place of Santa Claus, and it's just like so fun, and like the teams behind Love, Death and Robots are not afraid to just try out some crazy idea, even if it doesn't have love or death or robots. It's just fun to like see all these creative stuff, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was so fun. Like, it's about these two kids, which are basically in Christmas morning, and oh yeah, so I gotta talk too about the animation. It's stop motion, and it's really well made stop motion. Like, it reminded me of Robot Chicken in a way, but also like a little bit more high quality with the animation style. So it was pretty fun. So anyways, the kids go down and they kind of like expect to see Santa Claus, and instead find this giant monster who like vomits their gifts, and they think they're gonna kill him, and basically the monster says, "You are nice. You're saved," or something like that. And it's just so, I was like this the whole time. I was like, what? That is so funny. Like, so it's kind of like dark humor in a way. Like, it leaves me thinking like the same question the kids asked towards the end, like, what would happen if we were naughty kids instead of nice kids? So yeah, it makes you think. So yeah, anyways, I liked it. Not as much as the other ones, but it was still a good entry in the series. So I'm going to give it a 68 out of 100. So after All Through the House, we have Life Hutch, it was okay. I don't really have much to say about this one, other than I want to praise the animation style. I thought the animation style was fantastic, like same photorealistic as like some of the other ones we've seen, but it just didn't really leave me thinking about much. It's just a guy who finds a robot, they fight, he tries to escape the room without getting killed by the robot, he outsmarts the robot, and that's it. Like, it didn't really leave me thinking about much. It was pretty short, but yeah, I mean, like some of the Love, Death and Robot episodes from last season were kind of like that, just like showing something, like the one where the lady cuts her hand off and throws it in space. It kind of felt like that, like nothing really that leaves you thinking much, but you also appreciate it for the animation and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna give Life Hutch a 52. I don't know. I just thought it was okay. So anyways, we were down to the last episode. It's called The Drowned Giant, and it's actually the one that made me interested the most when I saw kind of like a clip of it in the trailer. But overall, I thought it was just so disgusting and eye-rolling, and it didn't really land with me. I thought it was like the worst one out of the season. And yeah, I kind of compared it to like some of the ones from last season, which were pretty bad, kind of like the one about the two guys in the junkyard and the one about the Hitler one, which is one of the worst things I've ever seen. Like the Hitler short from the last season was just so bad in so many ways. And this one's kind of the same. It's kind of like really like disgusting stuff, things happening, like trying to be edgy, but it just doesn't land. I think there's a right way to be like disgusting and vulgar and edgy without being so disgusting that it's just like, dude, come on, you're making a fool out of yourself. The positive I can give this short is same photorealistic. It's like the animation is fantastic, but what better way to show your animation style with a giant decomposing corpse on a beach? And yeah, I don't really know what else to say about this one. I didn't really like it, but I know some people who did, so that's okay if you liked it. I just thought it was really bad. But anyways, I don't know. I'm gonna give it a 45. But yeah, I thought it was just, I don't know. It just didn't really set well with me, but also didn't think it was bad. I mean, it did its job, and yeah. So now on to the conclusion for Love, Death, and Robots Season 2. So yeah, overall, this season had its highlights. Like, some of the shorts were really good. A few were okay, like not really that great, but it did its job. It's being a Love, Death, and Robots season that really makes me think and introduces some really creative ideas, which is what the series is all about. So I don't know. I think the 8 episodes, I'm okay with it. Like, if they introduce shorter seasons, but if that means we're gonna get like the seasons more often, for example, we'll get one every year instead of every 2 years like we did from season 1 to 2, then I'm all for it. So yeah, I'm not complaining. I thought it was good. If that's what it means, if we're gonna get like episodes more often but with shorter seasons, then I'm totally fine. It actually makes it better because it makes you wait less and you get to see stuff, like think about it more, and yeah. But anyways, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoy the concept of the series. So overall, I think the whole series, like the whole season, volume 2, is getting a 78 out of 100. I really liked it, and I can't wait to see more of these. I really love the series, and even if I don't like the shorts, I just love seeing new creative ideas out there. So that's something I really like, and yeah, that's all I have to say about volume 2. So have a nice day, everybody, and I'll see you next video.